Hi all, Pat Carroll here from the Grasstec Livestock Services. I'm here with Noel Gowan. So Noel, we want to talk about something new that we're introducing to the market, the Dairy Heifer Calf Programme. We'll go straight into it, Noel. What's the need of this programme?
Yeah, so it's probably the program is part of our herd builder service, where we're looking at I suppose the existing level and genetic merit of herds, and seeing can it be improved by acquiring or breeding higher genetic merit animals. The reason for the Dairy Heifer Calf program is kind of twofold. One is that we found kind of over the last 12 months there's a shift in livestock trading, and anything that's ready to put milk in the tank, anything that's heavily pregnant and ready to put milk in the tank or so, they're making plenty in terms of prices.
Yeah.
But there's value there for young stock. If you're a buyer coming to the market, there's value there as either maiden heifers or as spring-born calves.
Yeah.
And generally, calves at the moment are generally trading at 100 to 200 euros a head less than what they normally would be for the time of the year.
Yeah.
So there's value there, so it means there's an opportunity there. And equally, calves on the farm, high merit calves in Ireland at the moment should be the highest merit animals in the country.
Yes.
So again, it's twofold. So it's an opportunity to upgrade the herd with very high genetic merit animals at a price that's probably lower than it ever was.
Yeah.
And so that's probably the reason for this program.
Yes. And I suppose we were doing a bit of research there over the last few weeks, Noel. You look at, obviously, these are all calves that we're speaking about are going to be genomically tested, and I suppose they're coming from herds that we would feel are top performers. Might just tell us, I suppose, briefly, we looked at maybe the three major co-ops, the difference between the co-op reports and what someone within the average and someone in the top 10% of the co-op. Maybe just to talk through a few figures on that, please.
Yeah, and so like everybody can do this analysis themselves. You could just looking at the co-op performance reports for Kerry, Dairygold and Tirlawn.
Yeah.
Okay, and we just did some simple averages on it. The average herd in those herds, or on the average herd in any of those milk buyers, are supplying about 100 kilos of milk solids less than a herd in the top 10%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The average herd in those three milk buyers has a milk price about anywhere between probably 3 and 4 cents a litre less than the top 10%.
Yeah.
And conversely then, or to add on to that, what's the value of that to the farmer? What's the difference in that for the farmer from being average to being in the top 10%? It's about 500 to 550 euros per cow.
Yeah.
For 2020, looking at 2023 figures.
2023.
So, on a 100 cow herd, that's an extra 50 to 55,000 in your pocket. Now it does assume, Pat, that management is the same.
Yeah.
Now differences in performance at farm level will be, one part of it will be genetic, and one part of it will actually be managed. How they're managed, are they managed correctly? And I suppose what we're looking to do is improve the genetic side of it. But again, assuming management is the same,
yes,
if you have the higher merit and can gain that extra output per cow by keeping the same management, well then there's definite gains to be made from it.
Yeah. So it's a massive, obviously 500 euros per cow is a massive, and again, as we speak about, is the same work goes into getting those figures, Yeah. So it's interesting. And maybe some of the groups that we have available there at the moment, Noel, we're seeing on the PTAs, and just going by the PTAs, they're coming into 9% solids, or thereabouts, touching 9% solids, which is phenomenal figures, really.
Yeah, and like again, the average, if I remember correctly, the average for, I think we're just looking at one of those co-ops, the average solids percentages is only about 7.7% total between fat and protein.
Yeah.
Top 10% brings it into, and again, this is just top 10%, brings it into about 8.25, 8.3%.
Yeah.
And as you said, there are groups that we have in our books at the moment. The PTAs are telling us they're going to be at or very close to 9% solids, which isn't just a 3 to 4 cents a litre gain in terms of milk price. It probably adds on another 2 or 3 cents. So you could be potentially from being average at whatever your average milk price, and from the calves in that you potentially could purchase through this program, you could be up probably anywhere between 6 and 7 cents a litre.
Yeah,
and
massive.
That's huge.
Yeah, massive. Okay, and I suppose the groups, like, we're not saying every group of calves that's going to come to the table is going to make it into this calf program. I suppose maybe like we're looking at co-op reports, PTAs, I suppose. Just tell us maybe briefly what are the main criteria we'll be looking at before we'll say, yeah, this is a group of calves that can really improve a herd.
Yeah, and I suppose to answer that question, you have to look at what improvements are needed in the herd in question. So some of them might be fertility. There could be fertility problems. So obviously you're looking at the main fertility traits there. Then obviously the fertility index, and you are expecting a very high fertility performance in the herds that they're from in terms of calving interval, in terms of 6-week calf rate and empty rates. Okay, but I suppose mainly what we'll be looking at is probably the real profit traits, which is solids, kilos of mixed solids output.
Yeah.
So invariably, the majority of the herds will be at or over 500 kilos of solids.
Yeah.
Okay, and again, I won't even say Pat in the top 10% for solids percentages. We'd be lucky to bring them in the top 5%, even to the top 1%.
Yeah.
One herd might need a real push in solids percentages, and so
Yes.
you target a certain group or certain genetics or certain type of animal genetically to improve that. Somebody might have a fertility problem, so on and so forth.
Yes.
But again, as I said, what we're finding is those groups are there.
Yeah.
Those groups are there.
Yeah,
And the other important thing is genotyping. Like the genotyping program is there now. We can't say that every herd is genotyping, but probably, if it's fair to say, probably some of the best herds, the best herds are genotyping.
Yeah.
So you're getting higher reliability of the index,
Yeah.
and you're getting confirmed parentage.
Yeah.
Which is a must. We are pitching these as being the best that we can offer, or that the industry can offer.
Yeah.
So
They have to be ticking all the boxes.
Yeah, they have to be. They have to be genotyped as well. Yeah.
No, very good. No, look, that's perfect. Sure, we'll share some of the videos there of some of the calves that are currently available at the moment. And look, anybody with any questions on how they can maybe get a listing up with us, I'm seeing if we can see if they're going to fit into that category, or if somebody's looking to improve their herd, please feel free to give us a call. Okay, thank you.